Hi there, and welcome to another of Instant Impact's webinars. For those of you who don't know, we at Instant Impact are the UK's leading graduate recruitment agency. And what we do is we specialize in placing kind of the top graduates in the UK into fast-growing startups and small and medium-sized businesses. We're based in London and we work there, but we do also operate around the rest of the UK. So today we're going to be talking about how to get a job in the tech industry. And this is kind of really important, and it's a really exciting industry to be getting into and a really good one right now. So how it's going to work is I'm going to run you through some kind of very general basics about the tech industry and the job market there. And then I'm going to pass you over to Will, who's a colleague of mine. Will is one of our recruitment consultants, and he effectively specializes in all the kind of tech industry jobs that we run, as well as being our kind of go-to guy around the office for anything technical. So I'll hand you over to him in just a little bit, and he's going to give you some kind of more specific things and things he's encountered with his experience in the industry. But first, I'm just going to explain some very basic things about it. So if you're already interested in this, you probably know this, but there's effectively a major shortage of talented IT and tech graduates in the UK. And as well as that, we have kind of ever-growing numbers of technologically based roles. And that means that there's a huge skills shortage, so a very high demand and a low supply of candidates. In fact, the Migration Advisory Committee has recommended that job titles like manager, data scientist, senior developer, cybersecurity specialist, and others of that kind of nature are all added to the list of shortage of occupation skills. So basically saying there's not enough people who know how to do those jobs. And but every kind of survey you look at, like AGR's 2015 winter survey, said that 31% of candidates seem to lack the skills for the jobs that they're applying for, and employers are finding this a real problem. So yeah, as I said, high demand, low supply. And what that means is that there is fierce competition, but you also get very high starting salaries. So your average starting salary is higher in tech than practically any other sector. And another reason it's kind of really exciting is because it's constantly being innovated. So the startups in this area are cropping up really fast, and they're growing at a very fast pace. So that what that means is there's kind of potential for very rapid expansion, and you can get into some really interesting places with it. So basically, if you've got the skills, you can really take advantage of this skills shortage. There's a high starting salary, and there's great potential for rapid development and personal ambition. So those are kind of my very general points about why you should be interested in technology as a sector and kind of IT and things, industries like that. And now I'm going to hand you over to Will, who's going to give you a bit more of the specifics and some really useful things that you can know whilst you're looking for the job in IT or tech.
Thank you for the introduction, Charlie. Obviously, the world of technology has much to offer in the way of gainful employment, which is great. I'll cover some of the core points in securing your dream job in technology now. And I think the best place to start would be the kind of startup and SME tech scene, given that's what we focus in recruitment. Obviously, spurred on by kind of constant technological innovation. After all, we do live in a digital age. Tech and IT-based startups are cropping up at a faster rate than any other industry, which is absolutely amazing. And obviously brings with that a lot of opportunities associated with them. You may not have heard of these kind of smaller startup type technology companies, but these guys work at the cutting edge of technological advancements. And as such, the kind of work and projects they do are often a bit more dynamic and innovative in nature. So you won't just be coding in the closet under the stairs, so to speak. You actually get a bit more responsibility, which is great, and also be working with some more kind of cooler concepts, so to speak. For example, I recently worked with a stealth startup looking to kind of turn a fancy football type platform into a real world trading system, and it's incredible. It's a really exciting industry to work in, and there's loads of ideas like that. And these guys are really disruptive into the kind of the bigger technology scene, which is great. So if you like to be working at the cutting edge, kind of startup and SME type tech companies are perfect for you. And I guess it's kind of good to go on to a little bit about what kind of tech roles come under them companies. So there's a lot of different technical titles out there. So what I'll try and do is kind of dissect the jargon a little bit and try and break down the kind of types of roles that you can get in the technology scene. So there's 3 core web development focused ones. So you have a front end web developer, so also referred as a kind of sometimes as a web designer, which is wrong. Don't confuse the two. So web designer, they're creative, whereas a web developer kind of manages all the kind of the structure and what you interact with on the web page. And then kind of moving it into the back end, hence back end web developer, which is the second role. They kind of focus more on the kind of functionality behind the scenes. So various titles, it may not be called kind of back end web developer, it may be called a Java or PHP or Ruby developer. There's various kind of technologies which underpin the back end of the web. So that's another form of web development. And then there's full stack web developer. Now, full stack, it encompasses both front end and back end skills. So these guys, they're competent across all of those skills, both front and through to back end. And full stack web developers are a lot more popular with startups. Obviously, they're smaller teams and they need people to have a more comprehensive and well-rounded kind of skill set. So full stack web developers are in high demand in the startup and SME market, and even generally, but startups and SMEs do look for them particularly. Moving on from that, you're kind of working more into kind of software development now. So obviously these guys work on the kind of full software development life cycle. So you'd be obviously kind of, brainstorming the ideas, putting together the code, bugging it, and implementing that kind of software. You may be working on more on a kind of component of the software rather than the full software, because there's a lot of components go together to kind of build the software in general. So you'd be working through that full software development life cycle, and often in a kind of team of multiple developers in that. And then obviously there's kind of the more soft skill related kind of technology roles. So I can refer to this as tech advisory. So you can be IT support or kind of a tech consultant, or even kind of a business analyst or project manager. So, in these roles, they're looking for someone who's quite technologically minded and gifted. So you're quite good at the theoretical and basic practical understanding required of the various skills and systems and kind of languages and technology, but maybe not necessarily amazing or advanced in the implementation of those skills. So it's kind of its ability to perceive and understand technology rather than more the kind of ability to actually use it, if that makes sense. And I guess obviously that's a little bit about the kind of roles that you can get in technology. I think it's also good to talk about how you can showcase your skills to prospective employees in technology to go for one of these roles. And the best way to do that is to obviously present them in kind of 2 popular formats. One's a portfolio website. Now that's better for kind of demonstrating front-end web kind of developer skills, so kind of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also a bit of back-end. Maybe any websites you develop while you're freelancing at university or through internships and work experience while university as well. It's all great experience and it's all good to go on a portfolio website. It's tangible, you can see it, it's online, and it's going to be linked in your CV, which is great. Another form which is quite popular, very popular even, is GitHub. Now, if you haven't heard of GitHub before, it's a massive online community where you can kind of showcase your programming and coding skills, both kind of open source and private projects. Now, you can demonstrate a variety of skills on this website. It can be both front-end, back-end web developer skills, but also you can showcase your kind of software development skills again, which is great. And, being able to present your skills is key. You'll see it shows focus, it shows dedication, but above all else, it kind of shows what you can actually do. I know it's quite easy to list a bunch of technological skills, maybe some coding languages, but there's no way of knowing if you can actually use those to a competent and proficient level in the workplace. So it's good to just demonstrate to prospective employers that you can actually use them effectively in a project-based environment, which is great. So moving on from that, I think I'd focus on the kind of top kind of tech areas, really innovative areas currently in technology for employment, and the ones that are really kind of pushing out to reach out to the best tech talent. I think kind of coding obviously is the main one here. It's the #1 skill in demand today, and it's important as any other form of kind of literacy, such as reading and math, and it's quite commonly neglected in the curriculum, which is quite unfortunate given its importance in today's society. However, you can pick up basic skills in a variety of programming languages online. There's millions of self-teaching guides online. Just a note, Codecademy is quite a good one. It's a free open source one. Treehouse is another great one. It's paid, but it's incredible, and it's amazing what you can pick up in a short space of time. For example, HTML and CSS, kind of the core languages underpin the web. These can be picked up in a few hours for the basics. So it's really incredible what you can learn online, which is fantastic. Another kind of big area, kind of big skill set is big data. With the rise of the internet, the power has been granted to embed technology into practically anything. And coming with this is obviously is larger and larger volumes of data. So this data, when effectively analysed, is of immense commercial value. Obviously, you can monitor people's consumer behavior, and through that, you can target digital marketing, advertising campaigns. It's just so valuable. And obviously, with technology coming into our lives, not just professionally but personally as well, this will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And there are so many industries that focus around big data. So that's another big area to look into and build a skill set around. Another one is cloud computing. I'm sure you've used it before. Maybe you have an iOS phone. You can have cloud storage of your images. Given the rise of cheap server space, the cloud is quickly becoming the new normal. Again, both for professional and personal purposes. So the efficiency of digitizing information-intensive processes can cut costs by up to 90% in businesses. So cloud is something big for companies right now, and they're working to digitize their information-intensive processes to save them, cut them costs, make them savings, be more efficient in how they handle it. Obviously, it's also easier to manipulate data if it's all digital as well, which is fantastic. It's just efficiency is the key thing here, and that's what businesses strive to be in. And the final core area is mobile. So if companies don't have a mobile strategy, then it doesn't really have much of a future. We live in a digital age now. You really need to focus on the mobilization of your business processes. That's occurring at a rapid pace across multiple industries. It makes the company more competitive, and that fused with the cloud computing will provide truly centralized and accessible platforms and applications, not just again for professional but also for personal as well. But these skill sets brushing up on them 4 core areas: so coding, big data, cloud computing, mobile, even just having a basic understanding what they are and how they operate and the types of roles which you can get within them, and then maybe dusting up on the basics of the skills required for those, immensely valuable, and they can lead to a very prosperous career. Obviously, Charlie mentioned previously, big salaries associated with these roles, so it's a really, really great industry to get into, technology world. I guess that concludes that all for now. I hope I've given you a better understanding of how to get a job in technology. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave a comment and we'll get back to you. So I guess back to Charlie.
Great, Will. Thanks very much for that. Some really useful insights into the industry, and also some tips for how to make sure you can really stand out and put your best foot forward in that world. Yeah, so that's it from us. But as Will said, you can leave comments, or you can go on our website, which is instant-impact.com. Get in touch there. We've also got lots of videos like this webinar will be up on our YouTube channel, where there's also some other things about, for instance, cover letter procedure, nailing your interviews. Also got a blog with lots of career tips, or you can get in touch with one of us if you want some more specific advice, or to sign up and look for some job opportunities. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed that and found it useful. And once again, big thanks to Will for helping me out there today. And great, so see you next time.